Welcome to Spidell's California Minute. I'm your host, Catherine Zidane, and this week we're talking about some forms changes to be aware of for the 2021 tax year. We'll have a full discussion of new and updated forms in our upcoming federal and California tax update webinars that start on November 22nd. You can get registered at caltax.com under the webinars tab. For tax year 2021, Form 540 Schedule CA will be revised to reflect the changes made to the federal Schedule 1, which has been expanded so that Line 8 now has 17 sublines for specific income items, plus an entire second page for adjustments to income. This means there will be new lines on the Schedule CA, and it'll now be 5 pages long. New FTB Form 3913 will be used to report California moving expense deductions, and it's based on the 2017 Federal Form 3903 for moving expenses. Individuals and fiduciaries will be able to e-file superseded returns starting with the 2021 tax return. There will be a superseded return checkbox added to the returns. There will not be any new lines on the 100S, 565, or 568 Schedule K1 to reflect the pass-through entity elective tax paid at the entity level, but there will be some new information added in the instructions regarding this tax and the credit. Form FTB 4197, Information on Tax Expenditure Items, will have to be filed by taxpayers who had PPP loan forgiveness and/or received an EIDL grant for the 2021 tax year. This form will be filed with the taxpayer's tax return. Previously, this form was only required to be completed by personal income taxpayers involved with a cannabis business. Forms 100S, 565, and 568 will be amended to include the pass-through entity elective tax. There will be 2 new lines added to report the elective tax paid with the return and to report the elective tax paid with the voucher for the June prepayment. There will also be 3 new pass-through entity tax forms. Form 3893, Pass-Through Entity Elective Tax Payment Voucher. For 2021, there will only be 1 voucher included on the form, which needs to be filed by March 15, 2022. But it should be filed in 2021 if the entity wants to claim the deduction for the tax paid on its 2021 federal return. The FTB has stated that Form 3893 will be available for use the first week of November 2021. For 2022, there will be 2 vouchers, one for the June prepayment and one for the payment due March 15th. Form 3840, Pass-Through Entity Elective Tax Calculation, will be used by the entity to calculate the tax due and will also provide information regarding its consenting shareholders or partners or members' share of the tax. And last, Form 3840CR, Pass-Through Entity Elective Tax Credit, which has to be attached to the shareholders or partners or members' Form 540 or 540NR. There will not be any new lines added to forms to reflect various federal exclusions not followed by California, like the Restaurant Revitalization Grant, the Shuttered Venues Grant, etc., or vice versa, such as the California COVID-19 relief grants, but these adjustments will be reflected in the form instructions. And last, the FTB will be adding a checkbox to Forms 568 and 565 to indicate an entity's first-year exemption from the $800 annual tax. We also cover form updates in Spidell's California Tax Letter, along with all kinds of practical information for California tax professionals. A subscription also includes access to the transcripts of this podcast. You can get details at caltax.com. That's all for this week. Join us next time for another episode of Spidell's California Minute.